Hey guys, and welcome back to Smart Money Minds. This is the video for the recap for the second week of March in the stock market. And we're going to look forward into the third week of March and see the 5 stocks that I have that are on my top watch for next week. So let's take a look here. In my previous video, I was talking about a potential market bounce, and that's pretty much exactly what happened here. We had the S&P 500 push right back up to the all-time high range. After Monday being red and indecision doji, we had 4 days that pushed it right back up. We have that this line here was from the COVID lows. We had this trend line hold the entire way, and now it's holding as support. And we also have this channel right over here that may act as resistance right here on this lower trend line. So this is what I imagine next week to look like. So we're looking back up here to hit this lower trend line, come back down here to retest this zone at the 0.382 before pushing right back up. The reason I'm saying that is because the bear volume is not super significant. We're hitting a double top range, and what we're looking at here is on the NASDAQ. That's the major tech stocks. We are looking at a potential inverse head and shoulders pattern playing out. You see how this zone right here is holding on really well as a previous resistance and now acting as support. So what I'm thinking here is we're probably going to trade a little bit sideways, dip back down into the zone, if not even go lower to this trend line here, this orange trend line, which will line up if we're going down here, which will line up with the golden pocket of this initial move. So there's a potential we can come back down this week before pushing back up over. And so we have to be careful this week, especially there is a lot of options expiring this week on this Friday. So that will cause a lot of volatility in the market. So that's something we have to be aware of. But before we talk about this 5 stocks that I have for this coming week, we're going to recap the 5 stocks that I talked about last week, and they were all winners. We have CGC here going almost 10%. We have Costco going 4.3%. MGNX going our big winner here, going 16%. PayPal was 4.7%, and BYD was 5.8%. So all these were winners this week. And this was due to the fact that the market moved back up. We had a bunch of green days on the NASDAQ pushing it back up. And also the market itself was strong. It pushed right back up to all-time highs. But that is why we also look at the chart patterns that we have on our top 5 charts. We were looking at CGC because of this doji candlestick that looked very, very good for reversal right in the support range. And that's exactly what happened. Gave us another inside bar, pretty much. Pushed up. I didn't like this Wednesday bar here because it was almost a bearish engulfing down. But the next day, it continued and it held its gains. Let's go here, another beautiful move. Doji candlestick right off the support zone. We had our stop at 307 and it never hit that. So even this bullet or this bearish candle came down, but it got bought back up and it ended up 4%. MGNX here was our best winner this week. And why is that? Because it was a classic pattern, a bull flag pattern forming up here, and it just shot right over this area here and broke over the resistances of 28, 29, and now we're going to go test up at 32 range. And look at the increasing bull volume. And these are the stocks you really want to get into. And make sure you check out the bull flag video I did previously last week. The bull flag is one of the most successful patterns and easiest patterns to play in the stock market. And this is a signature version of that. So that's why we have a huge winner. Next up, we have PayPal. We had this doji candlestick. This stopped at 223. I didn't like the Monday candlestick. I probably would have stopped out myself, but it instantly reversed. So that's why we have to look at longer time frames. And that's why we have these charts looking at a weekly time, because these patterns can show up, or these candlesticks can show up, but it could be reversed, and that's how the stock market works sometimes. And lastly, we have here is BYD, and this was something we didn't even have to think about because there was a doji candlestick here. The market was weak, but this stock continued to be strong. So when the market is strong, it's very easy for this stock to continue, and that's exactly what it did. It broke to a new all-time high and possibly continues to go. This week, the top 5 stocks I have here, 3 of them are hype stocks. But that's okay because we are looking to buy on Monday and sell on Friday in these types of stocks. So we can ride up the hype, and that's what these stocks are looking like. So the first one we have here is GME, GameStop, the biggest meme stock we have. And the big reason I'm looking at this stock closely is because on the daily, let's look back here on the daily, we had increasing bull volume that drove the prices up tremendously. Then on March the 10th, we had a huge pullback, which pulled right back past the golden pocket here in one move. And guess what the next day happened? The next day, it ended up within this zone here, and look at what we have forming. We have a bit of a bull flag forming on this play. The thing about this is that it's holding this potential zone. So, which is the 240, around this range right here, 240, 250 zone. And that's the zone I have for my stop. But as you see here, the volume is not high, but it's steadily moving the stock price up. It's holding a new level right here, and it could potentially just stair step up, and it could very well go for a new all-time high, which is crazy, but it could happen. So keep the stock on watch. The next stock I have here is AMC. And what I like about this stock is that it is once again stair stepping up. And it had earnings on March the 11th. It had a pretty bearish reaction, but look at this. 8-hour EMA is holding very nicely. Bear volume was only big for those days here, but look at it drop off, and look at the bulls starting to buy it up again. And so what we're looking for is a continuous stair step up, and looking back up at the golden pocket here, which is around the 1450 to 15 zone, which is a potential place for this stock to stall. But right now it's at $11, so it's got $4 more to go. The third stock I have here is Eyes, and this was a hype stock last week. It had pretty much a 3 gap up play here, and it consolidated. But check out this volume here. This bear volume is next to nothing. And check out the 4-hour. It's basing out right in this range here. So what I have is I would have a stop just below 975. So I have it set at 950. That's where I would stop out. And look at this move here. It moved up. It broke over the $13 zone, the $12.50, $13 zone. Consolidated with very low bear volume, and boom, pushed right back over. So once again, similar to AMC, I'm looking at the golden pocket around the $20 range. We can potentially move this stock right back up here. Okay, our fourth stock is AI. So I'm coming back to this stock again because it had very bearish moves for 3 weeks straight. And look at this doji candle. Look at this volume, this bull volume coming in. So I'm liking it. What I'm looking at is when I zoom in, this could be a potential bear flag for sure. But zooming in a little closer, we have an equilibrium, but I'm liking that it's holding this 82, 83 zone. So I have my stop set at 83. It's pushing up over the 89 zone here. So it's pushing up to a new high, increasing bull volume here. So potentially, same thing, we're going to look for a reversal, and we're going to look back up to the golden pocket, which is 109, 108, which lines up perfectly with this zone right here. This resistance or this support now could possibly act as resistance. And our fifth and final stock here is ET. So looking at this, this is a daily bull flag, bull pennant that tightened up, and it blasted through here to a new high. Very little divergence, which I really like. The next resistance is around this gap fill range, which is around $9 to $10 here, $9 to about $9.50, I would say. So there is a potential to push back up here. It could stall in this zone for a little bit, and we'll have to see. But that is still a decent move if you're looking up. With that's potential a 6 to 10% move just to get back up to around this $9, $9.50 range. So that's what I'm looking at here on ET for this week. And it has changed the trend from equilibrium to an uptrend, and it's pushing up and pushing up. And if the market helps it, then it can definitely hit up that zone. In the comments below, let me know what your thoughts are and what are the top stocks that you are looking at. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and we'll take a look next week and see how these stocks go. And we'll see you guys next time.